Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Mr. Shapla is with you once again to take a class on approaches and methods of language teaching with the students of Honors 4th year. I hope everybody is fine, safe and sound. Dear students, today I'm going to discuss about something which is closely related to the teaching professionals, that is reflective teaching, the ways of teaching large classes and the mixed ability classes, along with group works and the whole class activities. And today's lesson will help you to learn about learn how a teacher can improve his or her teaching procedures, teaching styles, or teaching career. And you can learn how a teacher can manage a large class and mixed ability class with the help of group works and the whole class activity. Let's go to the PowerPoint presentation. So in this slide, the first slide, I will introduce you with today's topic. The classes for the Honors 4th year, the courses, approaches, and methods of language teaching, group work, and number 2 is group work versus whole class activity, and number 3 is teaching large class, and number 4 teaching mixed ability class. In the first slide, I'm going to talk about our first topic, that is reflective teaching. In this slide, there is a question, that is, what is reflective teaching? Reflective teaching is a self-assessment of teaching wherein an instructor or a teacher examines their pedagogy, articulates reasons and strengths for their strategies, and identifies areas for revision or improvement. That means this is an area to revise or improve their styles, their strategies, their strengths, their weaknesses. That means reflective teaching is a means of professional development which begins in the classroom. It implies a systematic processes of collecting, recording, and analyzing the teacher's thought and observation as well as those of students, and then going on to making changes. Okay, there are some features of reflective teaching. Reflective teaching denotes a variety of practices, that is, teaching inventories, observation protocols, self-assessment. And number 4 is consideration of student evaluation. Brookfield 2017 lays out 4 crucial sources of this process. Number 1, student eye. Number 2, colleagues' perceptions. Number 3, personal experience. And number 4, theory and research. In this slide, I will show you the process of reflection. There are 2 processes. Number 1 is self-assessment and number 2 is external assessment. Self-assessment includes first, reflection journals. A teacher can make a reflection journal to capture his or her teaching directly after class. Taking the class, the instructor or a teacher writes thoughts on the day's lesson. Teachers might reflect on the following questions. For example, what could I have done differently, or how will I modify my instruction in the class? Teaching inventories. A number of teaching inventories have been developed to help teachers assess their teaching approaches. For example, multiple choice questions, and it takes less than 10 to 15 minutes to complete. Number 3 is video recorded teaching practices. Teachers can video record their lessons informally or formally in order to assess their own practices. They can see their own styles or behavior in the classroom along with their faults. That means in a video record, a teacher can see his teaching styles or his behavior with the students and his faults as well. And number 4 is teaching portfolio. It is a more time-intensive practice. It allows teachers to pool the various components of their teaching into a cohesive whole, and they can see their teaching in a big picture. And the second process is external assessment. It includes number 1, student evaluations. In many courses, teachers will obtain feedback from midterm or end of term evaluations. Teachers can consider the student evaluations as one data source in their instructions and take note of any prevailing theme. By this way, they can modify their methods. Number 2 is peer observation. Teachers can ask a colleague to observe their classroom, or teacher can ask a trusted colleague to observe their classroom and give them feedback on their teaching. Number 3, student feedback. The teacher can also ask his or her students to think over his or her teaching style. Their opinions and perception can add a different and a valuable perspective, and this can be done with the questionnaires or learning diaries. And there are some recommendations for the teachers, that is think, talk and ask. Number 1 is think. They may notice all the observations, suggestions that they have and feedback, and think about what should be done in the classroom in future. Number 2 is talk. They may talk to their supportive colleagues or even a friend and will be able to come up with some ideas for how to do things differently. And number 3, ask. They may post questions to websites or magazines to get ideas from others teachers, or they may participate in in-service training. So this is all about reflective teaching. Now I'm going to talk about our second topic, that is group work and the whole class activities. Look at the group work. Group work involves students working collaboratively on set tasks in or out of the classroom. It includes any learning and teaching tasks or activities that require students to work in groups. And number 2, any formal assessment tasks that require students to work in groups. Now I'm going to talk about the purposes of group work, that is to enable the students to share and learn from one another. So in a group work activities, all the group members can share their opinions and ideas and learn from one another. Number 2 is through the facilitation provided by the group worker, to have a stable patterns of relationship among the members and to develop interaction among group members. So advantages. Now I'm going to talk about advantages of group work, that is it increases student ownership of subject matter. Number 2, it is an opportunity for struggling students, that means the weaker students, to get help from stronger students without having to task. So in a group work, weaker students can be helped by the stronger students. Number 3, in group work settings, students can reinforce soft skills and communication. Number 4, they can also learn accountability, problem solving tasks and project work. And for the teachers, group work allows for complex subject matter to be broken up into smaller parts. Now in this slide, I will show you the very important, that is how to design a group work. There are some steps. Number 1 is teachers should make groups first. They should decide how to make groups, and it depends on how large the class is or how many students are in the classroom. Number 2, they must identify the instructional objectives, but this activity should be related to the course objectives and the class content. That means the teacher should focus on course objectives and class content, and after that they identify the instructional objectives. Number 3, they should give the tasks that make the students stimulated to face challenging activities. Number 4, they assign group tasks that encourage involvement, interdependence and a fair division of labor. How? There are some stages, that is a teacher should allocate essential resources across the group so that the group members can share information. Number 2, specifying common rewards. That means teachers should specify common rewards for the group members, such as they should give same marks. Okay. Number 3, allowing sufficient time for groups. Number 4, explaining the tasks clearly. And number 5, allowing the students ask questions, and of course the teacher should monitor the tasks of their students. Okay, so what about the whole class activity? In a discussion based class, the whole class activity is a basic requirement. The important aspect of whole class discussion is the welding of the whole group works together to reach a common goal. There is diversity in numbers. There will have more ideas, more opinions and experiences which can contribute to the learning process. And this can stimulate a greater involvement in each member of the class. Now, I'm going to talk about our third topic, that is teaching large classes. In Bangladeshi context, teacher will face many problems to deal with the teaching large classes. Large classes pose great difficulties for the language teacher in terms of managing classroom activities, and developing rapport with students and ensuring discipline. A large class consists of more than 100 students. So what are the strategies to teach a large class? Number 1, making pairs. Teacher can arrange pair works to maintain a large class. Number 2, making groups. Group discussion or group activities are very important to control or to teach a large class. Number 3, organizing groups to suit learners' abilities. Teachers should be aware of the students' ability in making groups, as they have mixed abilities students, like some of them are fast learner and some of them are slow learners in the class. So monitoring the groups, the next step is monitoring the groups. The teacher has to move around the classroom to monitor the activities of the groups. Number 5, managing resources. Resources means teaching materials in the classroom, and textbook is the main resource in the classroom, but all the students do not bring it. In that case, group work is helpful for the teachers to manage resources for all the students, and each group needs one text. Number 4, maintaining discipline. Teachers should set a basic rule of conduct for the students. For example, students may talk but not loudly, or they may work quietly. Number 7, using different types of activities to reduce boredom of the students. Teachers should arrange different types of interesting activities in the classroom. Number 8, making group leaders from the different groups. They may select some group leaders to communicate with the students, and they can help teachers to maintain discipline easily in a large class. Number 9, not giving up on collaborating groups. Teachers should allow each group to share ideas, opinions, or knowledge with another group, and teachers should focus on collaborating groups. Number 10, finding new way to know students. So dear students, in this slide I'm going to discuss about the fourth topic, and this is the final topic of our today's class, that is teaching mixed ability class. This class consists of stronger students, weak students and average students. So there are some strategies to control this teaching, to control mixed ability class, or to teach mixed ability class. Number 1 is open discussion. With mixed ability students, teachers feel stressed. The best solution is to arrange open discussion about the classroom situation. Needs analysis. Teachers have to use needs analysis to explain to their students about the learning styles, learning strategies, language needs, learning enjoyment, motivation, language strengths and weaknesses of the students, and it makes students prompt to reflect upon their own learning styles, strategies, or weaknesses, or their strengths. Peer work. They can pair with strong students with strong students, or weak students with weak students, or they can mix weak students with the strong one and strong students with the weak one. Number 4 is sorry. Number 4 is group work. These groups could be mixed levels or similar ones. The teacher may divide the information between the students, forcing them to work together. Number 5, whole class mingles. This is related to the whole class activity. That is, a mingle activity involves students talking or interacting with many different members of the class in a short period of time in order to achieve a task. This supports the weaker students and provides opportunities for the stronger ones. And what should be the classroom? What should be the classroom? That is, what should be the class activities? What should be the class activities in the classroom? That is a leveling task. Number 1 is leveling tasks. It means providing different tasks for different levels. For example, the short questions of a comprehension. In that case, the teacher has to make 2 sets of questions. That is, set A and set B. Perhaps set A is for the stronger one and set B is for the weaker students of a class. Number 2, homework or extra work. Teachers should give to the weaker students. Teachers should give homework to the weaker students, but they should give extra work with the homework to the weakest, to the stronger ones. And number 3 is error correction. The teacher should correct all the errors that made by the mixed ability students in the class. So this is all about teaching mixed ability class. So dear students, so I'm going to recap my class of today's class. That is, we have discussed about reflective teaching, group work, and the whole class activities, and the teaching large class and teaching mixed ability class. I think that should be all for today, and I want to stop today. And we are looking forward to celebrate the upcoming Eid, but the situation is is getting very tough. And that is why, because of the pandemic, and that is why you just stay at home and celebrate Eid with your family members. And I will come with the new classes after the Eid vacation. And thank you so very much, and Allah Hafiz.